this is how I place my support and resistance lines on TradingView. So first of all, we obviously need to have a chart opened up, and we have the euro against the US dollar. Now, for resistance lines, I like to see areas where the buyers met pressure from the sellers. And for the euro, on this occasion, it appears to be around here. This is where buyers try to push the price higher, but fail to do so. So what I need to do is look to the left-hand side of my screen, take my horizontal line, and then left-click on the area where I want my line to be. Now, let's change this coloring to red. If you want to be even more accurate, you can double left-click and move to the coordinates, where you can make sure that it's rounded up or to be pinpoint precise. So that is another option. For my support level, I think this recently formed high could be RS1. Now, obviously, where you place your support levels is up to each individual's preference. I like to place it here just to be slightly more on the safe side, or you could use the recently formed high as a support level. But nonetheless, either here or here would be relatively fine. The reason I placed it here is because you have another touch showcasing heavy resistance, which once broke up, if it does come back down, could be tested. So this is, let's say, R1, S1, and then let's place RS2. So giving it some space to move, I could place my S2 here. Now, this is where it gets tricky. S3 cannot be an outrageous amount away from my support levels, unless you have no other option. For example, one rule of thumb that we like to use is that the distance between the support and resistance levels should be relatively the same, just for continuity. For example, I can't place S3 around here and expect it to be valid. It could be true as a support level, but it does not mean this should be S3. Instead, S3, for example, could be this recently formed high. But you can see the distance is not that equal. Now, if I had placed my S2 around here, which could be a support level, then S3 being here is more than fine. If you like to check, you can use the info line option just to ensure that it is relatively the same. So you can see the distance is 64 pips and this is 76 pips. So that is an acceptable difference. But as we said, you can't expect someone to assume that S3 would be around here. But how I place support and resistance lines would be taking recently formed highs and lows and then simply seeing where the price action failed to break below or above and then managed to turn. So this is a very simple guide as to how you could place your support and resistance lines on TradingView.